but younger generations feel condemnation and rejection by neighbours. And this was brought up by one of our team, and it's not just happening in the area that she was talking about, but throughout Australia. And I know even in our areas that the older generations do hold strong to their faith, and the younger ones being very much affected by the world. But these young people feel condemned and rejected if they actually voice their faith, which I thought was very interesting because I don't have that in my circles. But some of you may actually know about that as well. Religion can be a strength if we remove stereotypes and prejudices. So we all have, through our experiences, we have all these things in our lives, maybe small degrees, maybe to some bigger degrees. And so it's important that when we come across issues that we find out a bit more information, break down those stereotypes and those prejudices so that we can start to create friendships rather than be divisive. Strength in attending church and increasing our faith and our values. And that many different ways we can use to reach God. So all the different faiths have different ways in which they are trying to reach out to their God, their supreme being, and there's strength if we hold true to our own values. That will come through and we'll be able to be a happier community. Forgiveness is the road to recovery and building... I think I forgot to write the rest of it. Oh, hang on. It says
relationships at the end.
And building relationships. And I think we will all agree about that. If we have happy and respectful relations in our neighbourhoods, regardless... we need to have happy and respectful relations in our neighbourhoods regardless of our different faiths. We'll be a much happier community if we can be respectful of others. Strength in our faith, but not imposed on others. So we need to take great strength in our own beliefs, and that will help us to get along with others. All faiths teach goodness and love, and that has come out through... some of the discussions today and some of the discussions I've had with those visiting. Unhappiness of others is not always related to differences in faith. Just because your neighbour is Muslim or your neighbour is LDS and they're having trouble, then that doesn't necessarily mean it's a faith problem. It could be that they're struggling financially, they've got other issues, and it's not a faith concern. So offering love, understanding, and having forgiveness and respect for everyone. Perception can be very misleading, and equipping ourselves with principles of our faith can change those perceptions. All faiths have messages of peace and love. And I think one of the speakers said today, 60 to 80% we actually have in common, and it's a small percentage of our differences. Do you want to hold the half of it? The last one. You okay behind there?
She's working well.
She's working hard. Her arms are going to fall off.
I've never seen her so tall.
Some religious experiences in early childhood can leave scars. That was an interesting experience we had at our table. Meeting those of other faiths at this conference has opened our minds so that faith can actually be part of our lives. And last of all, they talked about broadening definitions of religion. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Would
you.
you thank Group 5? I like that preaching in the street for Group 5, because there's a gentleman in preaching in the street, in Adelaide Street, in Queen Street, about half a block from the mall near the GPO, and you can hear him half a block in every direction. And he's there most days, just of late. So, preaching in the street's still done. And there was a group from the Christian perspective called the Open Air Campaigners. Some of you may remember them. And I think they're still going, but they used to be quite regular in places here such as Toowoomba and other regional areas. I think we've had group 5, we'll go group 3 this time. Where is group 3? That's Kim's group. Oh, Salim, you're going to do the presentation, I dare say? Okay, please come up on the stage. We need another person, please. What's that? Kim's coming. Could you get on the stage, please? It helps two ways. It helps the camera, and it helps because of the lighting. And everyone, as you can see, they did some large print. A large font, as they say.
Thank you, Richard. It's Group 3. We had a good discussion on the table. We started off by somebody saying that the problem at the moment is because of the educational system. Children think God doesn't exist or God is dead because there's no mention of religion or God in the schools. So one thing is that we have to rejuvenate that and bring back into the educational system. The strength is, according to some, is the confidence in Trinity living with each of us. The other one was we are all one from the same source, creation. So all are same and has come from the creation. There's no conflict in religion and science. They were saying that challenging the world belief system, faith. Am I right? And overall was that God is love, and in the present moment, personal relationship with the Christ give them the strength, handing trials and tribulations to God is a source of his strength. Trust in God gives hope. God loves, which I mentioned that God loves 70 times more than the mother loves child, gives his strength in good and bad time. Show care and respect, think of others. In the end, we decided that the 3 things which very much like to be done is to invite people on the journey and ask them 4 questions. Who are you? Where are you from? What are you doing here? And where are you going to go? And it's not only for asking it, all of you should ask yourselves these questions too. And finding a common ground, and the most important, educate the youth about God. Thank you.
Would you think?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh.
Most important.
There's more.
Going to say something beautiful.
So I just said that this is a prayer that I read from my elder who has been teaching me, and it's called My Spiritual Strength. When I look outward into this vast land of ours, I see the birds and trees and flowers. I see the creeks and bushland which bubbles with life, and I feel the love of my children. And as I stand in peaceful solitude, I feel in my heart a deep gratitude. As I look at this land which my ancestors trod, I come to realize the things of God.
Thank you. Thanks, Kim. Excellent. So we've had 5, we've had group 3. It's now group 1's turn. Ah. No, that was a sigh of relief. They've been building up to it. So who's the presenter for group 1? Oh, Heather and Klaus and someone are going to hold the sheet. I see what you mean when you said you were going to do something different. Yeah, you can stand there. You can look at it, and they'll.
We're not discriminatory in any way. We've got all of us in here.
Yep.
Okay. So first of all, I need to explain to you the format that we chose. So we decided that if we chose what we think is the most important thing to put in the middle, and then in the arms of the circle, try and summarise what people around our table have said in as few words as possible to try and make it easy to read and to make sense of. So in the very middle, We talked about the importance of cultural and religious diversity. And we had a quote, and I can't remember who it's from. There's no peace in the world without peace between religions. Peter, who was that from? Hans Kuhn, thank you. So around the arms of the circle, different religions provide us with different values to the secular and materialistic world. And I think that that's come out quite a bit over today about how we need religious values. Personal commitment is one of the strengths that we get out of our religions. Intellectual curiosity, searching for the truth, humility to know what we don't know. So that's head stuff. Breaking codes of silence, protective mechanism needs courage, inner strength. So yeah, that was about one of the speakers spoke to us about breaking codes of silence and standing up for what we believe to be right and being protective of people more vulnerable than ourselves. Focus on life's priorities. So our faiths help us to work out what our priorities are and to focus on them. Support from community and family is one of the great strengths that we get from our religions. Maintaining our own identity. So we can't really make friends and enter dialogue with people of other faiths unless we're strong in our own faith in the first place. Changing thinking about others. So sometimes learning about other people's faiths opens up our minds to changing our thinking. Spirituality, religion and prayers, those are sources of strength for us. Inner peace is a great source of strength, and I raise that even though I'm not a Buddhist, but I think that it's something that the Buddhists teach incredibly well, is seeking the peace within ourselves before we start. And then once we've achieved that peace within ourselves, we can make the peace spread out. And individual strength, and that goes with inner peace. Thank you.
Okay, great. Excellent. I now ask Group 4 to come forward. I'm hearing biblical quotes everywhere. So, okay, there's Mark. There you go. Natalie, you're right.
Okay, Mark's my name. We actually addressed the question here initially, the first part of religion, a source of strength in a challenging world. So we got an individual point of view as how religion or spirituality helped people. And as this is the first section here, and so the faith that people developed through their chosen spiritual or religion brought a lot of hope and direction and instruction. So it gave them hope, it gave them the direction as to how to lead their life, and it gave them a specific instruction that wasn't specifically head instruction from a psychiatrist or somebody else. It also helped people to have any challenges that they had on their daily life. Their faith became a real rock. It helped them to develop integrity. It brought peace and calmness to the individual, and was something to turn to in challenging times. And it also, of course, helped people acceptance of other faiths. And also by having a faith and a source of strength, it helped people to develop the high moral values that are going to protect us against the common laws of Parliament, the common laws of the land. So we're not going to get in trouble if we hold those high moral values. And of course we're we're going to be more acceptable and more approval by God himself. There was an interesting one here that somebody said that sometimes they're curious and sometimes they're doubtful. If you are doubtful, what does that say? It says that we need to do a bit more study, and by studying various, whether they're books of our own particular faith or from another faith, it's going to help us to, what have I got here, curiosity, helps us to do further investigations. And through these books, and particularly autobiographies of people that have had faith and even lost their lives and been martyrs, it has helped people to survive and how they survived in difficult times. So it gets us to do some more exploration. And the more we explore, the more we study our own religions and those others, the more we're going to be accepting of those other peoples. So what have we got here? Building hope and trust in the promises of God, of people who have gone through difficult times. And, of course, we do get inspired. We get inspired by the examples of people that have suffered in previous times and are suffering today. And as we read about, whether it's in a publisher, whether it's in a newspaper or book, we really get inspired, and that builds our faith in times. And it gives us strategies and means to do that. I've got here looking at challenges as an opportunity for personal growth. That's a good one, because it's a good one for me, because in the last couple of years I've accepted every difficulty, whether it's a difficulty with your partner or your wife or your boss or somebody else, or a physical difficulty like this. How can I grow from this difficulty? What can I learn? What can I do? This is the main theme that I sort of focus on now. Not being vindictive, not being judgmental, not being anything. How can I acquire one of the 52 virtues that we all aspire to, so we can be more accepting to God and more accepting to the governments of the land of the day. So that's what I look, even up here. How am I learning this? I've been here for 2 or 3 hours and I came along not expecting to get anything nice. But I'm up here. How can I learn from this? And a lot of those things is that's really important, of course, it's taught me to be a lot more tolerant. It's taught me to be a lot more less judgmental, sorry. And so I don't worry about the small little tiny things and arguments that people have at work or whatever. I just said, thank you, God, for not making me what they are. But that's a bit of a... Anyway, look, there's a couple of other ladies at the table that were Buddhists, and they like to follow the examples of Buddha, and his examples was, of course, how to lead a compassionate life, how to develop peace within your own mind, how to develop virtuous qualities and goodness. And so Buddha, along with many of the other great spiritual leaders that have been on the planet for the last 6,000 to 10,000 years, we just got to lead our lives according to their examples. All sacred texts and spiritual religious material are just so rich. It doesn't matter whether it's the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita or the Bible. They are very, very rich, particularly rich to the person that follows that faith, but they can be and are very rich to those other people, providing they've got the foresight and to go and find out a little bit more about those other which. So, and the thing is, they answer so many of our daily questions, don't they? They really do. There's no problems in this world because the answers are there. It's just a matter of getting your message across to our political leaders. You can go, it doesn't matter if it's the sutras or the Bhagavad Gita or the Christian books, the answers are there, but it does require a little bit of effort. It does require sometimes intense study. Book of instruction. Even if you don't believe in God, if you follow, we just had somebody, that a bit like myself, I guess, on a spiritual path for such a long time. You don't have to believe in God or a God to get benefit from that. Just live by the instruction from the Bible. It's there, or the Bhagavad Gita, or any of them. They're there for a protection for you and to acquire qualities. Okay. And I've got here suspend judgment. Helps us to better learn and help to understand other people. So instead of going in and a lot of the time we're speaking to a person of another faith, we've already, in our own heads, already got a judgment about perhaps some negative aspects of their religion. If we can totally suspend all that judgment there and then, it helps us to really greatly enhance our learning or our hearing for a start. Just blink the mind, let's listen, let's help. And so that's what I've got here. Just to suspend judgment helps us to learn better, and it helps us to understand others better. Appreciation, it goes a lot of appreciation of creation, and all that is good. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, that's there. I just can't articulate that as to what it means. But anyway, appreciation of nature, and I guess we're coming back to spirituality and how it offers a source of strength. We've just got to look about us on a daily basis as about some of the beautiful things in nature and creation and all things that are good. Equality, to live life to the full, to live in another man's shoes, and we all aspire to, doesn't matter whether you're intellectually impaired or whether you're an intellectual genius, we all want to be loved, we all want to be belonged, we belong to somebody, and we all want to be heard. Thanks for hearing me.
Thanks, Mark. Can I have that microphone back, please?
Oh, okay.
Thank you, because Group 2 needs it. No. Yes, you do. You're going to be the spokesperson, Ari? Okay. Up we get.
This is a unique talk. I will have my back to you. Remember the face. So we started on a journey of taking the topic and defining what it was, and then we had a general discussion, and we eventually came up with some points. So, faith and religion, a source of strength in a challenging world. What does it do? Faith is a source of strength. Shapes a worldview, something to guide us. It gives us fellowship. We're all part of humankind and can save each other. Serve.
Yeah. Question looking at which writing.
The book of Ari. It teaches us to honour human beings. We get compassion, hope, faith and charity, tzedakah. Commitment and purpose come from faith. Love for all humanity, ahavat Israel, to love yourself as you would love others. Values to convey to our youth and our young person. And education, giving love to others, facing challenges through meditation and prayer. So we came to the recommendations. Our summary is the importance of education through family and religions and faith groups, plus relationships with the transcendent, builds strong individuals. So if you have strong individuals who are people of confidence, they can go through the world and not be put off by the challenges that they face because they have a strong sense of who they are and they can share that with other people and not threatened by them. Reading the white as well as the black. Everyone sees the letters, but you don't see what's behind it. So it's very much a case of looking at people, seeing them, reading them, but then seeing where they came from and accepting that as well. And the emphasis that we have so much that unites us as human beings, that we all live to work and play together. If you need a blood transfusion, they ask you what type you are, not what religion you are. So anyone can save anyone as long as you got the right letters, and plus and minus. So that's what we sort of looked at, and that's what we came up with. Thank you.
Thank you, Group 2. What? 20 seconds? I'll time you.
I just wish to say that one of the reasons why we did our presentation in a circular form is to remind us, my group, that it is going to be a continuous process. As all the speakers have brought it up, and we often forget, I do it now and let me wait till Heather rings me up or somebody else contacts me. So it is not going to be that. Each one of us have made that commitment that it will be a continuous process and we shall abide by it.
Great. Thank you. I think we've... Have this one on? Is this one? Oh, yeah, it's working. It is a long way away, yeah, but anyway. This might be better. I think this is better. As I said, we've done well. Thank you for everyone's effort all day. We thank the speakers and presenters who've been part of our sessions since 9 o'clock this morning. Tomorrow we gather at 9 a.m. again and begin with prayer, and then we move into plenary session number 5, and then after morning tea, plenary session number 6. And then after lunch tomorrow we've got a youth perspective, and Hanaya is... Where is Hanaya? She's here. Hi. You're presenting after lunch, and we look forward to hearing you. And then we go back into dialogue circles straight after Hanaya's presentation. And then we start to wind down towards closing our conference for another time. So we'll see how we go with that, and of course we'll close with prayer. But today you've got an early mark. It's only 25 to 5, and everyone's done so well. I think we can call it a day. Your time now is your own. So enjoy your evening, and those travelling, may it be safe. If you are not coming back tomorrow, please fill in the evaluation form that's in your bag. If you are still coming back tomorrow, hold on to those evaluation forms until tomorrow afternoon, then when you can fill them in and put them in the box at the reception. But if you're not coming back tomorrow, please fill in your evaluation form before you go this afternoon. So thank you, good night, and we'll see you in the morning.